Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to explore a fascinating and honestly a highly complex issue that is actively unfolding right now. We are looking at this unprecedented collision between cutting-edge artificial intelligence and our deeply human immigration systems. We'll be tracking a massive global phenomenon stretching from the massive backlogs of North America all the way to the streets of Paris to show you exactly how system vulnerabilities are being exploited by completely fabricated AI-generated asylum claims. It's wild stuff, so let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Before we even talk about the AI stuff, we really have to understand the baseline strain these immigration systems are already under. Take Canada, for example. Just recently, 149,000 international students were flagged for not complying with their study permits. I mean, to put that into perspective, that is the population of a mid-sized city just lost in a single country's system. Bureaus worldwide are completely overwhelmed, and it's into this incredibly strained global environment, from those North American backlogs to asylum tribunals in France, that a highly sophisticated new variable has suddenly arrived. So federal officials have discovered a completely new layer to this vulnerability. It turns out people aren't just slipping through the cracks anymore. They are actively using artificial intelligence to bolster their asylum cases with entirely fake narratives. And the crazy thing, this crosses all language barriers. Officials in Paris, for instance, are seeing claims perfectly translated and optimized across Nepali, English, and French. We are talking about highly detailed, emotionally resonant stories. Sometimes they even reference completely fabricated court decisions to make the claims look legally airtight. It's this level of incredibly sophisticated forgery, and it's literally available to anyone with a smartphone.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the incredible and frankly kind of ironic paradox this creates for governments. Just listen to this admission from federal officials. They openly acknowledge the fraud is happening, right? They see the AI-generated applications, but they flat out refuse to share specific examples of how it's being done. They're terrified that making it public will act as a step-by-step tutorial for copycats to circumvent detection. But the reality is, they're trying to keep a lid on a process that is actually incredibly easy to just figure out on your own.
It's a classic example of how easy it is to bypass an AI's safety filters by playing on its dual nature. If you ask a chatbot directly to game or lie on a refugee claim, it throws up a brick wall. You get a strict refusal, it says, "I can't help you do that." But because the AI is ultimately programmed to be helpful, simply rephrasing the prompt unlocks the whole thing. If you just ask it to understand how claims are assessed in Canada, it instantly flips. Suddenly, it's providing a comprehensive blueprint for exactly what immigration judges are looking for. Let's walk through the exact simple progression of prompts used to manipulate the AI into drafting the stuff. You absolutely don't need to be a hacker for this. You just hold a conversation. Step 1, you ask hypothetically. You frame the request as an academic exercise in understanding the rules. Step 2, you ask the AI how to make a weak fear of persecution sound strong without overtly lying. You ask for optimization. And finally, step 3, you ask for an example of a perfect story. By walking the AI through this really fast logical progression, the user maneuvers the chatbot into actively drafting fraudulent but highly believable asylum content. And this brilliantly illustrates the staggering difference between a human's organic plea and an AI's optimized narrative. Imagine a genuine, but maybe struggling Nepali asylum seeker simply writing, "I was scared in my own country." An immigration official reads thousands of these vague statements, so they're easily dismissed. But look at the AI's upgrade. On March 3rd, 2024, 2 men came to my workplace, called me a traitor because of my political posts, and said I would be dealt with. The AI knows exactly what triggers a legal obligation to investigate. It anchors the story with exact dates, precise locations, and clear motives that legally force officials to take it seriously. This brings us to the overarching demonstration of this whole issue. When you prompt the AI for a perfect example, it doesn't just spit out a single strong sentence. It generates a highly structured, dynamically crafted fictional narrative, like this story of a targeted schoolteacher. This isn't just pieced together from some rigid robotic template. It's a bespoke story engineered to check literally every single legal box required for a successful asylum claim based on political persecution. Let's move to Quran and see how this builds, because the true genius of the AI is in its pacing. It doesn't just start with violence out of nowhere. It manufactures a perfectly believable timeline of escalation. Late 2023, the hypothetical teacher shares posts criticizing local politicians. Then in November, negative online comments start appearing. By December, direct warning messages hit the inbox. The tension builds naturally. Finally, the climax in January 2024, 2 men arrive at the school asking for the teacher by name. It builds absolute credibility through flawless chronological consistency.
So, the crucial point is why this specific strategy is so devastatingly effective. It's all about blending fact and fiction. Fraudsters start by using their real, provable lives as the foundation. They use their actual hometown, their real diploma, their actual workplace, things that can be easily fact checked and verified by an immigration officer. Then they use the AI to inject completely unverifiable threats and phantom dialogues directly into those real locations. Because the foundation of the story is demonstrably true, the resulting narrative becomes factually consistent and essentially impossible to disprove. It traps the entire system in a massive loophole.
Which ultimately leaves us with a profound practical dilemma. As AI storytelling becomes perfectly consistent with immigration law, seamlessly blending real locations with phantom threats, how on earth can a human judge discern a beautifully engineered lie from the truth? Do governments lower the burden of proof and just accept almost everyone? Or do they raise it so impossibly high that they risk rejecting those in desperate need of safety? As AI continues to advance, this is a puzzle that is only going to get harder to solve. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope it gives you some real insight into a truly mind-bending modern challenge. Catch you next time.